Okay, good afternoon. This is going to be a short, sharp, half an hour blast on abs, back and tummy, and this will be great for you if you've eaten a lot already or if you're feeling a little sluggish. Also, it's a nice short amount of exercise to kind of fit in around meetings, phone calls or whatever else you've got to do today. The only thing I will suggest is if you have recently been coming to my classes and you have a Pilates ring, we will be using that quite a lot today. Failing that, a ball will work, a soft ball. So I'm going to start by laying down. Once you're down, and again you can do this on a sofa or bed, don't have to go all the way to the floor. Make sure the head's comfortable on a block or pillow, and then we're going to rest the body down. I'm going to work on lower legs as well as abs and tummy, and I'm going to start with my Pilates ring. Now if you don't have one of these and you've got a ball, place the ball between the legs to start with. The ring, however, is what I'm going to use more of today, and place those pads in between the legs. And then all I'm going to do is go to tabletop and squeeze that ring together and away for about 32. I'm going to do exactly the same with the ball, but you'll have a narrower space between the knees. Now this is going to work here on the abductor muscles and inside the legs on the adductors. And already I'm halfway through, so it's 15 little squeezes. So 32 doesn't take that long. So keep pushing until you feel those outside of the legs work. And again, if you've done a lot of work throughout the day, this is quite nice to come away for a bit, do a little bit about time out and work in your body. So 2 more. So I'm going to then take that ring and place my feet through the ring and place the ring on the outside of the legs and go back to tabletop. Now if you've got a ball, keep the ball where it is. And then with the ring we're going to try and open out the legs, push in towards the bands. So again, working here on the abductor muscles and the IT band. It's great for the hips as well. Now you can't really do this with a ball, so if you don't have a ring, then just try and open and close the legs out to the side. So I'll demo that without the ring, so you're coming out and back, yes? Now this will increase the endorphins in the body because already heart rate's having to work a little harder and we're targeting certain muscles, so the brain is stimulated as well, so really good for the body. So again, I'm going to do 32 here of working into the abductor muscles, squeezing on the outside of the leg. And nearly there. So again, I've got 32 of these, pulling away and inside leg. Now I'm going to do the same exercise I did earlier, placing the bands or the pads on the outside of the legs. So you heard me earlier, I did mention you have a band, you can take them round the legs and hold the band. I'm going to open out the ring. Again, trying to pull open the legs. If I just turn towards the camera there, oh, mind my bottom. But you're trying to pull open the legs. Can you see that better? So again, trying to open, stretch, working on the outside of the leg. And when we come back, you carry on. Once you've got that nice pulsing movement through the legs, you'll also feel the calf muscles working. And again, I'm doing 32 of these. So I'm going to do another 6. Now, draw the legs to tabletop. Hang on to the ring. Again, if you don't have a ring, ball between the knees. And from here, all I'm going to do is straighten the legs away, targeting my lower abdominal muscles straight away. And here, as you stretch, my knees or your knees need to lengthen. And if it hurts the back, place the hands underneath the bottom, either side of your gluteal muscles in the bottom, and this will help protect the back. Now here, I'm already starting to feel an increase in my heart rate, tiniest of movements, but still works amazingly well. So here with the ring, allowing the arms to just support the back, my legs and knees and hips doing all the work. This is so good for your abs because they're really having to stretch as you lengthen the legs. You'll also find as well a nice strengthening in the lower back. As you push away, and each time I have, breathe out and then bring the knees in on the in-breath. So the breathing needs to be quite rapid, so you're not holding any breaths. breathing in and out throughout. I'm going to do 10 more of these, working again on my lower rectus abdominis muscles. Nearly there. So 3 more of these. Now this is really good for the joints because they have to flex, extend and release. Last one. Now bring the ring or ball up to the ceiling, and this is where the hard work comes. Again, if you have a lower back problem, use the ball underneath your coccyx, and then we're going to go right to left. Now this abdominal twist here is working on the transverse abdominis muscles under the rib cage. And if you suffer with a bad back, that ball's going to help you. However, don't rock too far to the side because you'll come off. And again, as you go right to left, feel the work in your abs. And these abductors muscles here really having to work hard. Fantastic to work lower back here, as long as you have protection, because you don't want to over twist. Now I'm really having to work here in the centre of my abs. You'll feel that too. And with the ring there, I'm not really moving my legs. It's really in the centre of my body. If you're doing the same with a soft ball between the legs, this will protect your hips and not having to move too far. I'm going to do 6 more. I can already feel an ouch. And again, I've done 32 of those while I've been talking. Now, we're going to remove the ring for a moment, but leave the ball where it is. And if you've had the ball between the knees, place it under the bottom. Hands then are free to move. And we're going to do straight to bent knee extension and flexions. Here, if you have problems with the top of the leg, lots of people find they've done a lot of work on the hips. It's difficult to control the quadricep muscles and they feel a small pain. Don't straighten the knee and that will protect it. However, we're going to flex through the heel, take the leg away and back, and we're going to do 16 on each leg, so 32 altogether. Again, I'm breathing out, in, out and in on every extension. This is really good for lower backs. Well, here it strengthens the lower back, works the lower abdominals. And again, allow the back here in a neutral spine to stay flat. You will find just by looking that I cannot get my hands underneath the spine. So that stays nice and straight, and that's what we're looking for here, so that you just keep in that position to relax the upper body or torso and work the lower legs. Already I'm halfway there and I'm starting to feel a nice increase in my heart rate. This is going to allow the endorphins to kick in and allow again an acceleration of blood flow. So you'll get out of this class and think, oh, I'm ready to do that job, or you know, I can go and do this. Now this is the time of day, I mean at the moment it's 2:45 that I'm recording this in the afternoon, and at this time of day a lot of people get tired and they think, oh, where's the coffee, where's the cake? And I disagree with doing that. I've had my lunch and I'm like, right, I've had a load of veg, feeling amazing. Now's an opportunity to use those energy given foods to now work the body. So the worst thing you can do is to sit in the chair and fall asleep. Now, if you've been working all day on the computer and this is your only release today, I promise you, once you've done half an hour of ab and back and leg blasts, you will find an extra surge of energy to get more jobs done. And this will help you in turn sleep better at night, because then you're not nodding off in the daytime. Okay, I've got 2 more. I think I've done well over 32. So I'm going to take the legs up and I'm going to place my hands behind the bottom. Here, both legs are going up and down now. Now, if you have had a lot to eat, I wouldn't recommend you do this. And you may want to come back to do this later. So we're just dropping both legs and bringing them back up. This strengthening your lower back. Again, the ball there is protecting the coccyx. And here as you breathe out, the legs are going down and the in-breath's coming up. I've tried as best I can to keep my ankles together and my feet together, so therefore I get a better extension on my legs. Again, stretching IT band and your quadriceps. Here, as you lower the legs further, depending on if you want to progress or not, you'll feel a strengthening of your lower back. And this in turn will strengthen your abs. For those that don't do so much exercise and are sitting around a lot, you can still do this on a sofa and bed. As I mentioned yesterday, it's not really any excuse for not doing exercise. And the more exercise you do, the better the joints will be, and the more flexion you'll get in the joints, and the less likely you'll end up with a medical condition. So keep working through the pain or discomfort if it is hard for you and you've just started exercising again. For those that have been doing this in and out of lockdowns, you should be feeling a lot fitter. Now we're going to scissor the legs. So the legs are going to stay up to the ceiling. I'm going to drop one at a time. In doing this again, I stretch the legs and the leg muscles, but also I work on the lower back and my tummy. Now these exercises are great if you suffer with a little bit of obesity or a problem with the tummy. Most of us have a little extra pouch, including myself, but this keeps the tummy from getting bigger. So lengthen and drop. Now, although you're working the legs here, the tummy does have to contract. The hip flexors also allowing the top of the legs to stretch and come back up, but you will feel it in the tummy. 10 more. Now drop the legs back to a tabletop, which we do in Pilates, and gently rock to release the abs. We're going to come into the upper abdominals next, so you'll need to remove your ball and bring the legs down. Before we start, if you have a neck issue, then make sure the hands are either with the block or pillow or underneath and elbows out, so you can target here in the centre of your transverse and rectus abdominis muscles, because they'll have to engage later. So we're going to breathe in and you'll feel a pull right down the centre of the tummy, and then exhale as the head goes down. Using the pillow or block underneath the head will help you to keep the neck still. And we're going to do 6 more of those. And 1 more. I'm going to do little pulses here to encourage those abs, or in the middle here, to fully work. But notice here the elbows stay out in order to work and stretch the trapezius in the neck and arms, and then head down. So already this should feel lovely and warm. And I'm going to now twist through the back, working these side to side, again working on the side of the body and allowing my back to stretch. Now here you work your lumbar spine, so right across the back there, in order to twist right to left. And so those that suffer with a back condition, this is really good for you. The progression is trying to get the knees down to the floor. And again, you can do this on the bed or the sofa. So we're twisting through that back. Oh, this feels so good. So I can feel the stretch in my hips, stretching the outside of the legs, and of course, as I mentioned at the beginning, into the back. We're going to do 6 more, 3 each way. Now my arms are just resting, it doesn't matter where they go, as long as you work from the waist down. And we're going to do 1 more each way. And then we're going to come back up to a crook position. Now I'm going to remove the block, or if you have a pillow under there, remove that. So now my body is completely flat. Try not to tilt the chin, keep the chin down so the neck stays in line. And I'm going to draw my heels to my bottom. Now caution, and I'll do this now, take off socks that are slippery, otherwise you'll find them on the mat sliding and then you'll end up with an accident. And then we're going to lift the pelvis to the ceiling. Now here, by squeezing the glute muscles together and pulling the tummy, I not only stretch the back muscles, but my quadriceps there at the top of the thighs are holding that lift. This is great for the back, for here we elongate the spine. So you lengthen all of the vertebrae and the discs in the spine, and because you're stretching in the opposite direction to going on all fours like we did yesterday, this is a fantastic stretch to lengthen in the opposite direction. Also, with those quadricep muscles firing nice and warm, I'm going to roll up a little higher onto the shoulders so that I've got a nice straight line from the knees to the shoulders. Now, if you're struggling to stay there and your quadriceps aren't really strong, and there is an alternative to grab that block I used earlier and pop it under the glute muscles. Now again, this lifts up the spine and holds that weight, if you like, in the bottom, but also allows that back to fully stretch. Now, when we do Pilates, there are exercises like this where you can progress and to hold with balance. I had a chat with a few clients this week who are finding this a bit difficult. So if you find it difficult, just remove the block, come down, rest in between, and then engage again. Now if you want to progress, and then make sure the back's comfortable, I'm bringing my heel off the floor, toes up there, and stretching the other leg. Now a nice straight leg in that position will stretch from the hip to the feet, and the quadricep muscles in the top of the thighs still firing. And again, I'm having to breathe more in and out because now my heart rate's increased just because a limb has gone higher than the head. So we're going to change legs here. And again, if you can't do this and you're coming up and down, that's still fine. You're still exercising, so feel the work in the back and the top of the legs, even if you're holding here. So whatever's good for you at home. I'm just showing you the harder or the progression. Now you can see that that block's already coming down, so I'm going to remove it, walk my feet in and reach for the heels. Now this is still encouraging my spine to stretch and the quadricep muscles to fire. If you close the knees in slightly, you will also feel more of a burn at the top of the legs, strengthening muscles. And stay there for 4 more breaths here. And already 20 minutes in, feeling really good in the middle of the body. Now I'm going to bring my body down and straighten out the legs to release. Give them a wobble if you need to. And then I'm going to keep the legs straight here, but I'm going to add that block under my head. Again, you can use a ball or a pillow as well. And then I'm going to open out the elbows, hands behind the block, and I'm going to roll up and come down. So back to those abs. And I'm not coming all the way up, I'm just going up, looking at my feet and coming down. Really good stretch in the middle of the body. If you find it's boring, roll all the way up, but do be careful on the back. Or if you want to roll up but you have a back condition, then feet can go into crooked position. And if you want to come up even higher, bend the knees. So you'll feel the work in the back and the tummy, in the neck and the shoulders. Don't forget your out breath as you come up and in breath to lay down. Oh, nice and warm now. I'm going to do 6 more. Last one. Now I'm going to rest the body, but I'm going to use the ball now to work both the side of the body here, the obliques, especially here at the back, and your strip of core again. Taking a deep breath in and taking the ball above the head, I'm going to breathe out and take the ball to the side and then to the other side, so around the body. Now the alternative, if you don't want to use the ball, is again to use the ring. The ring will do the same. However, pushing against the ring, you can work the ring in your advantage to work the bicep and tricep muscles by squeezing as you lift around the head and come up side to side. And again, I'm going to do 32 of these. Now for more progression, come up further. Take the back off the floor, and as long as you don't have an issue with the back, this will work in the side of the body. Keep that waistline. More. Okay, I'm going to come back down. I'm going to keep hold of the ring and bring the knees up and bring the arms to the ceiling, tilting the ring towards my head. While the tummy and back are resting, I'm going to squeeze my ring towards each other. So the sides of the pads there squeezing in and away into pectoral squeezes. Now, if you don't have a ring, you can do the same with the ball as mentioned. Just by squeezing against the ball, you still work the inside of the arms. But a bigger progression with the Pilates ring. I'll add, you may want to get one of these. They're on Amazon right now. There's all sorts of sizes and shapes and prices, but they really work your pectoral arms and legs and focus on targeting bigger muscles so that you're able to work on what we call a saggier skin. Now I'm nearly there, got 10 more of these, still squeezing, feeling my arms working now. I can actually see those muscles working just by looking down at them. 10 more. Now, one for the triceps is to bring the ring or the ball above the head, squeezing against the pads again, but bringing them in front of you. Now this one's really good for the back of the arm, as mentioned earlier. So my ring is just touching my top of my head or the block, and then I'm bringing the ring in front of me. So there's hardly any movement in the shoulders. It's mainly in the elbows. But then I can feel a stretch here underneath the arms. Oh, nice and warm. Feeling that body starting to allow the blood to work harder. So I'm now burning calories. So I'm getting into that area of heart rate where I could actually go for a run right now. My muscles feel good, my heart rate's increased, and if I wanted to really work cardiovascular, I've stretched my muscles ready for that run. And do 4 more here. And then we're going to work on leg muscles and a little bit in the core by placing one foot on the pad and holding the other end. Now the first thing I'm going to do here is make sure that the block or pillow is comfortable under the head or not use it. And then walk the leg towards the head, stretching the back of the legs and hamstrings. Now I'm keeping the elbow nice and bent as I'm bringing the leg in and away, but this will really stretch the hamstrings and the calf muscles. So again, bringing the foot towards the head. I'm already halfway, so again I'm doing about 25 here. You can do how many you want to do. I'm going to swap legs and do the other leg. Now if you do have a hamstring tear, just be gentle, you're not overstretching it. But to lengthen it will help you to increase the muscles, so just be careful you don't overextend. I'm going to do another 5. And then I'm going to go to tabletop next, and I'm going to place that ring between my calves so the pads are sitting there. Again, use the ball if you don't have a ring. Now the hands are going either side of the bottom here so that I can then squeeze against that ring. You can actually hear it moving now. So working the outside muscles of the legs, I'm trying to get the ring into an oval shape. I'll do 10 more, so I've done 30 of them. And this is really working my abductors. Now from here I'm going to touch toe with the ring and come back up. Again, you can use the ball, and I'm just bringing the toes up and down. This works through the lower abs and in the lower back, and we're nearly there. Doing our half hour of ab and back strengthening and muscle work. This is a real good one to work your hips as well as the back and your abductors. And here I'm still having to engage the lower abs to lift the legs up and down. And again, I'm doing 32 of them, that's 20 there. I'm going to do 2 more. And then I'm going to remove the ring, but leave the legs in a crook position. I'm going to take one leg to the ceiling, I'm going to go up and down and out to the side. And I'm going to do this to lengthen the leg muscles. I'm still lovely and warm, and I'm just going to do 15 on each leg. Here, working the abductor and adductor muscles that we did throughout today's session. Not so much on the tummy here. Whew. Now, the more of these type of exercises you do at home during lockdown, the better you'll feel, and then you'll want to go on that walk, and you'll want to get on your bike or whatever it is you normally do for exercise. For here, you will stretch muscles and work the areas of the body that maybe wouldn't normally be worked if you were sat in the office or if you're having to work from home. Other leg again. So in and out breaths, feeling the work through the body. And we're nearly at the end of our half an hour of abs and adductor and abductor blasts. So you're going to feel really good in the middle of the body. Oh, so nice. And I actually feel pretty good. I'm listening to my body to make sure nothing's aching or sore. And I'm feeling like, yeah, you know what? I'm quite ready for a run. I think I may well do that. So another 10. Such a nice afternoon as well. If you haven't already been out today, a nice quick run or a brisk walk will help you feel better. 4 more to finish. 3, and last one. Now, for those that want the ultimate progression, ball under the bottom, and we're going to do double leg up, double leg out. You don't have to do this. This is quite hard, but working those main muscles that we travel throughout. So tummy's here, legs, top of the thighs, and working a little bit to strengthen backs. Hence why my ball is under my coccyx. Ooh. Now I'm going to do 6 more. Now you could go on and do 30 of these, but due to time and promising that it's only a half-hour workout, I'm going to stop on the next 2. But the rest of you, if you want to keep going, do. Just ignore me talking, and just going to do a little bit of cycling to release the legs and tummy, coming down as I did earlier, working through the abs to release the back and tummy, taking my knees side to side. And I'm going to roll myself up and straighten my back and lengthen the arms down to my toes. And then tucking my chin to breathe out to finish. Just going to go a little further to stretch the back of the legs and the back. And we will see you again tomorrow. Enjoy. Take care. Bye for now.